Some players play football, but some players haunt it. In the 1970s, one man turned the middle of the field into a battlefield. Quarterbacks feared him, running backs avoided him, and anyone who crossed his path quickly learned what real intimidation looked like. Jack Lambert wasn't just a linebacker. He was the heart of the Steel Curtain, the fearless leader behind one of the most dominant defenses in NFL history. Missing teeth, a cold glare, bone-crushing hits. He became the symbol of toughness in an era that already worshipped it. From a small town in Ohio to the roaring stadiums of Pittsburgh, Lambert carved his legacy hit after hit, game after game. This isn't just a story about football. It's the story of a man who redefined what it meant to control the field. Welcome to Black and Gold Legacy. If you love Steelers history and legendary NFL moments, make sure to like and subscribe, because today we're diving into the story of the man who became the heart of the Steel Curtain. Early life, the making of a legend. Jack Lambert was born in Mantua, Ohio, a quiet small town where life moved at its own slow rhythm. Even as a boy, he stood out, not for his size, but for his spirit. Skinny and wiry, he didn't have the bulk or brute strength of many athletes, but he carried something far more dangerous, an unyielding competitive fire. From sunup to sundown, Lambert could be found chasing a ball, whether on the basketball court, the baseball diamond, or the football field. Every game, every practice, every moment became a test, not just against others, but against himself. That relentless drive, forged in a small-town playground, laid the foundation for the fearless, unstoppable force he would become on the NFL gridiron. Even in those early years, it was clear. This was a kid who refused to back down, who thrived under challenge, and who would one day define what it meant to be a linebacker. As a young athlete, Jack Lambert faced a moment that could have changed his life and his image forever. During a high school basketball game, a hard collision left him with his front teeth knocked out. For most, this would have been a setback, a reason to hide or fix what was lost, but not for Lambert. He made a choice that would define his persona for decades. He refused to replace them. That missing tooth grin, raw and fearless, became more than a quirk. It became his signature, intimidating trademark. On the football field, that toothless smile wasn't just cosmetic, it was psychological. Opponents knew that behind those missing teeth lurked a linebacker who hit harder, moved faster, and feared nothing. That grin, fierce and unyielding, set the tone for every hit, every tackle, every battle in the middle of the field. In that moment, a small accident transformed into a legendary symbol of fear, and the young Jack Lambert of Mantua was already crafting the aura that would make him one of the most feared men in NFL history. College career, forging a defensive mind. After high school, Jack Lambert took his relentless drive to Kent State University, where he stepped onto the football field with the same intensity that had defined his youth. Playing linebacker, he quickly established himself not just as a player, but as a defensive leader who could control the game with both skill and intellect. It wasn't just his physicality that set him apart, it was his football IQ. Lambert could read offenses before the snap, anticipate plays, and position himself perfectly to dominate the field. His toughness was legendary both in practice and in games, earning him respect from teammates and fear from opponents alike. By the end of his college career, Lambert's dominance and consistency were impossible to ignore. He became an all-MAC linebacker, recognized not just for his tackles and hits, but for his leadership, discipline, and ability to elevate everyone around him. Even in those college years, the foundation of a legend was clear. Jack Lambert was more than a linebacker. He was a defensive force in the making, a player who would soon bring his unique intensity to the professional stage. 1974 NFL Draft, the birth of a dynasty. The year was 1974, and the NFL was about to witness one of its most legendary draft classes. Among the young talents stepping onto the professional stage, one linebacker from Kent State would soon make a mark that no one would forget. Jack Lambert, the Pittsburgh Steelers, under visionary head coach Chuck Noll, selected him in the second round, 46th overall. On the surface, it might have seemed like a mid-round pick, but Noll saw something different, a combination of intellect, toughness, and an unbreakable will that could transform a defense. Lambert wasn't the only star in this historic class. He was part of a group that would later be hailed as the greatest draft class in NFL history. Alongside him, the Steelers drafted Lynn Swann, dynamic wide receiver whose acrobatic catches would stun the league; John Stallworth, precise route runner and clutch playmaker; Mike Webster, future Hall of Fame center anchoring the offensive line. Together, this class would form the backbone of the Steelers' emerging dynasty. But at the heart of their defense, controlling the middle of the field and setting the tone for every game, stood Jack Lambert, a linebacker whose intensity, skill, and leadership were already unmistakable. This draft didn't just bring new players to Pittsburgh, it laid the foundation for the Steel Curtain, the defense that would dominate the NFL for the decade to come. And at its center, Jack Lambert was ready to define fear for an entire league. Rookie season. Immediate impact. From the moment he stepped onto the professional stage, Jack Lambert made it clear that he belonged among the NFL's elite. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1974, Lambert immediately earned the starting middle linebacker position, taking control of the defense with a presence that could not be ignored. His rookie season was nothing short of spectacular. Game after game, he dominated defensively, reading offenses with intelligence, stopping running backs in their tracks, and delivering bone-crushing hits that left opponents wary of crossing the middle of the field. His performance wasn't just impressive, it was historic. For his outstanding contributions, Lambert was awarded the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, a recognition that underscored his instant impact on the league. But his achievements went beyond personal accolades. His leadership and intensity helped propel the Steelers to their first Super Bowl appearance, culminating in a victory at Super Bowl IX, where the team defeated the Minnesota Vikings and cemented the beginning of a dynasty. Even in his rookie season, it was clear Jack Lambert wasn't just a newcomer. He was the cornerstone of a defense that would become legendary. The Steel Curtain Defense. Fear forged in Pittsburgh. In the mid-1970s, the Pittsburgh Steelers built more than a football team. They built a fortress. This wasn't just any defense. It was the Steel Curtain, a nickname that came to symbolize impenetrability, intimidation, and sheer dominance. At the heart of this legendary unit was Jack Lambert, the emotional and tactical leader who controlled the middle of the field. He wasn't just another linebacker, he was the quarterback of the defense, the one who called adjustments, read the offense, and set the tone for every play. Opponents didn't just face a defense, they faced a meticulously orchestrated wall of power, speed, and intelligence, with Lambert as its beating heart. Defensive line, the wall of steel. The foundation of the Steel Curtain was its fearsome defensive line, a quartet that struck terror into every quarterback. Mean Joe Green, the anchor, whose strength and technique could collapse any pocket. L.C. Greenwood, the agile pass rusher, quick off the edge and relentless in pursuit. Ernie Holmes, the disruptive force against the run, clearing lanes and making tackles behind the line. Dwight White, the consistent powerhouse, a blend of speed and precision that completed the front four. Together, they formed a wall that few offenses could breach, but it was Lambert's vision and instincts that allowed them to operate with surgical efficiency. He knew where to plug gaps, where the blockers would go, and how to anticipate the quarterback's eyes. Every movement of the defensive line was amplified by his leadership. Linebackers, the brain and the heart. Behind the line, Lambert was flanked by Jack Ham, whose coverage skills complemented Lambert's run-stopping dominance. But in the middle, Lambert commanded. He diagnosed plays before they happened. He shifted formations based on offensive alignment. He delivered tackles with precision, timing, and authority. While the line broke through the front, Lambert read the flow of the offense, closing running lanes, covering tight ends, and creating opportunities for turnovers. His emotional intensity inspired the unit. Teammates knew that when Lambert set his eyes on a play, no one could escape his presence. Secondary, the final lock. The steel curtain strength didn't stop at the linebackers. Behind Lambert's middle, the secondary completed the fortress. Mel Blount, the lockdown cornerback, feared for his physical press coverage. Donnie Shell, the safety with instincts so sharp he could anticipate passes and support the run game. Lambert acted as the glue, connecting front and back, ensuring that every blitz, stunt, or coverage scheme worked in harmony. Without Lambert's intelligence and leadership, the steel curtain would have been formidable, but not unstoppable.
Famous plays and legendary moments. Fear in action. Jack Lambert's career wasn't defined by statistics alone. It was defined by moments of pure dominance. Time and time again, he delivered hits that changed the momentum of games and reminded opponents that the middle of the field belonged to him. One of the most unforgettable moments came during Super Bowl X against the Dallas Cowboys. After Cowboys safety Cliff Harris delivered a late hit on Steelers receiver Lynn Swann, Lambert immediately stepped in. Without hesitation, he shoved Harris to the ground in front of a national audience, sending a clear message that the Steelers protected their own. The moment instantly became one of the most iconic images in Super Bowl history and perfectly captured Lambert's fearless personality. Lambert's hits during regular season and playoff games were just as memorable. Whether stopping running backs at the line of scrimmage or meeting receivers over the middle, his tackles were explosive, precise, and intimidating. Opposing offenses knew that any pass thrown across the middle could end with Lambert arriving at full speed. His instinct for the ball also produced crucial turnovers. In key matchups against rivals like the Oakland Raiders, Lambert intercepted passes from quarterback Ken Stabler, shifting momentum and giving Pittsburgh's offense valuable opportunities. But beyond individual plays, Lambert's greatest moments came from his leadership. He commanded the defense, read offensive formations before the snap, and positioned teammates perfectly to stop drives before they even began. Every hit, every interception, and every stop reinforced the same message across the NFL. If you entered the middle of the field against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you were entering Jack Lambert's territory. Dominant 1976 defensive season, the apex of steel curtain. The 1976 season wasn't just remarkable for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it was historic for the NFL. The steel curtain defense reached a level of dominance rarely seen in professional football, and Jack Lambert stood at its core. During the final 9 games of the season, the Steelers allowed only 28 points, a staggering statistic that demonstrated not just talent, but precision, discipline, and strategic brilliance. Opposing offenses struggled to move the ball, knowing that any run up the middle or crossing route could be met by Lambert's relentless tackling and field control. This stretch is remembered as one of the greatest defensive runs in NFL history, a period where the Steelers' defense wasn't merely good, it was nearly impenetrable. Every sack, every tackle for loss, and every interception was a product of Lambert's intelligence, leadership, and emotional intensity. For his outstanding performance, Lambert was awarded NFL Defensive Player of the Year, solidifying his reputation as the heart and brain of one of football's most legendary defenses. His ability to read offenses, call pre-snap adjustments, and deliver game-changing hits made him the difference maker on a team built for dominance. In 1976, Jack Lambert wasn't just playing football, he was shaping history, controlling the middle of the field and defining what it meant to lead a defense at the highest level. Super Bowl championships, the defensive heart of a dynasty. Jack Lambert's career is defined not just by tackles and hits, but by championships that immortalized him in NFL history. Over the course of the 1970s, the Pittsburgh Steelers captured 4 Super Bowl titles, and at the heart of each victory stood Lambert commanding the defense. Super Bowl IX, Lambert's rookie season culminated in a historic victory over the Minnesota Vikings, where his leadership and field awareness helped neutralize the Vikings' rushing attack. Super Bowl X, against the Dallas Cowboys, Lambert's intensity and intimidating presence were on full display, including his famous confrontation with Cliff Harris, signaling his role as the enforcer of the defense. Super Bowl XIII, in a matchup with the Dallas Cowboys once again, Lambert's defensive prowess and ability to anticipate plays contributed to key stops that allowed the Steelers' offense to secure the championship. And Super Bowl XIV. Against the Los Angeles Rams, Lambert's dominance in the middle of the field and coordination of the Steel Curtain defense solidified Pittsburgh's dynasty and cemented his reputation as a defensive mastermind. Across all 4 championships, Lambert wasn't just a player, he was the defensive centerpiece, the man controlling the middle of the field, directing teammates, and enforcing fear across the league. His impact was felt on every snap, every tackle, and every play that kept the Steelers at the top of the NFL. Career highlights and stats, a legacy etched in numbers. Over the course of his remarkable career, Jack Lambert became one of the most decorated and feared linebackers in NFL history. He played in 146 games, each one a testament to his durability, intensity, and relentless drive. On the field, he was a force no offense could ignore, accumulating 28 interceptions that showcased his intelligence, anticipation, and ability to turn defense into scoring opportunities. Lambert also recovered 17 fumbles, often at the most crucial moments, swinging momentum in favor of the Steelers and reinforcing his reputation as a playmaker who could change the course of a game with a single decisive action. His dominance didn't go unnoticed. He earned 9 Pro Bowl selections, consistently recognized by coaches, players, and analysts as one of the league's best. Even more impressively, he was named first-team All-Pro 7 times, a reflection of both his elite performance and his ability to lead a defense that defined an era. Through these games, stats, and accolades, Jack Lambert's career wasn't just impressive, it was legendary, leaving a mark on the NFL that still resonates decades later. Every number tells a story of fear, intensity, and a relentless pursuit of excellence, embodying the very essence of the Steel Curtain.
Career-ending injuries and retirement, the final battle. Even legends faced their limits, and for Jack Lambert, it came in the form of serious toe injuries late in his career. Over years of punishing hits, bone-crushing tackles, and relentless play in the middle of the field, Lambert's body had endured the cumulative toll of a lifetime in football. The injuries were particularly severe on his toes, impacting his balance, acceleration, and lateral movement, all critical for a linebacker whose game relied on timing, agility, and precision. What might seem like a small area of the body proved devastating. A misstep or delayed reaction could turn a routine tackle into a costly play. Despite months of treatment, therapy, and pain management, Lambert's mobility and overall performance began to decline, affecting his ability to command the middle of the field and execute the defensive strategies that had defined his career. By 1984, after a decade of dominance and countless battles on the gridiron, Lambert made the difficult but inevitable decision to retire from professional football. It wasn't just a career ending, it was the conclusion of an era. The man who had defined the Steel Curtain, struck fear into opponents, and inspired teammates across the league was stepping away, leaving behind a legacy of toughness, intelligence, and leadership that would never be forgotten. Even in retirement, the mark of Jack Lambert remained. In every defensive alignment, every rookie learning the linebacker role, and in the echoes of a Steel Curtain that would forever carry his imprint. Legacy and Hall of Fame impact, immortalized in Canton. Jack Lambert's influence on football didn't end when he retired in 1984.
His combination of fearless intensity, tactical genius, and leadership had permanently altered the way the linebacker position was played, and his legacy extended far beyond Pittsburgh. In 1990, Jack Lambert was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, a recognition that cemented his place among the greatest linebackers in the NFL history. This honor reflected not only his individual accomplishments, from interceptions and tackles to Defensive Player of the Year awards and multiple Pro Bowl selections, but also his impact on the Steelers dynasty, the Steel Curtain defense, and the league as a whole. Lambert's style, toughness, and leadership became a template for generations of linebackers. Coaches studied his positioning, rookies emulated his intensity, and every defense hoping to dominate the middle of the field measured itself against the standard he had set. Canton wasn't just a recognition of past greatness, it was a testament to the lasting influence of a man whose presence on the field inspired fear, respect, and admiration in equal measure. Jack Lambert didn't just play linebacker, he defined the position. His combination of fearless intensity, tactical brilliance, and unyielding leadership set the standard for every middle linebacker who came after him. As the emotional and strategic leader of the Steel Curtain, he controlled the middle of the field, dictated games, and became a symbol of toughness that few could ever match. When compared to other legendary linebackers like Ray Lewis and Mike Singletary, Lambert's impact remains undeniable. While each of these greats brought their own strengths to the field, Lambert was the embodiment of old-school dominance, a player whose toothless grin and bone-crushing hits sent fear through entire offenses. In the end, Jack Lambert wasn't just part of the Steel Curtain, he was its heart, its soul, and its relentless spirit. He left a legacy that continues to inspire players, coaches, and fans alike, reminding everyone that intelligence, intensity, and courage define true greatness. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and career of Jack Lambert, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more legendary stories from the gridiron. This is Black and Gold Legacy, where the heroes of the Steelers live forever.